Hey, Summerhill Cinema 700 here with my Blu Ray update of April 2018. Got 4 Blu Rays titles here, and let's just dive right into it. First off, a slasher classic, which I have avoided due to my dislike of seeing people scalped, as I mentioned in a previous video, and that is 1980's Maniac. Like I said, I've avoided this movie just because for some reason seeing people scalped really has always disturbed me, like in the movie Inglourious Basterds, so I avoided this. But since I'm a big fan of 80s slasher movies, and just the slasher genre in general, I thought, yeah, I just gotta watch it. And I saw it on Amazon for a pretty decent price, and it was the 30th anniversary collector's edition here from Blue Underground, which is a great title. They make great Blu-rays, and I really like what they do. In fact, the last review that I did on the movie The Lift by Dick Moss, it was also a Blue Underground release. And yeah, they always just do a really good job. But yeah, it has the gore effects of Tom Savini, which is really cool. So I'm looking forward to checking this one out. But yeah, it's basically about this guy, as far as I'm aware, who just kills hookers, basically. I'll just read the back here. Actually, I won't because it's too long. But if you want to read that yourself, I just want to keep the video, decent, not too long, but, it's basically about this guy. He kills hookers, off the street in New York City, and basically scalps them and puts the scalps on these mannequins. So it's really quite messed up. But and some people don't necessarily consider it a slasher, but more of like let's move this camera, like a stalk and slash or whatever the hell. Some people consider it a slasher, some people don't. It's more of just like I don't know what you'd say, like a exploitation film or something like that, something in those lines. But yeah, that's 1980's The Maniac, and it says on the back here, from Rue Morgue, some of the most unprecedented, graphically detailed depictions of violence ever put before a viewing audience. And there was some controversy of this movie too, which it was mentioning in one of the special features here. But I'll just get into the special features. Audio commentary with the producer, director. We got an audio commentary with co-producer and director. Anna and the Killer interview with star Caroline Munro. The Death Dealer interview with special makeup effects artist Tom Savini. That's going to be really cool to see. Dark Notes interview with composer Jay Chataway. Maniac Men interviews with songwriters. Theatrical trailers, TV spots, radio spots. The Joe Spinell story. Maniac publicity, Maniac controversy, which is like this news thing, I believe, that talks about the controversy of the film by these like women's rights groups or something. But if we open it up, it's a Blu-ray disc, and then the 30th anniversary edition also comes with a second disc, this is the Blu-ray, and this is the second disc, which is a DVD, which just has the special features on it. So definitely looking forward to checking out Maniac. I kind of went on a little too long about this one, but once I watch it, I'll probably do a review of it at some point, not necessarily this year, because I got a lot in store for this year that I'm already going to do, but eventually dive right into Maniac. So let me know what you guys think about Maniac, maybe down in the comments, and let me know what you think about it without giving away the plot or anything like that, because like I said, I haven't seen it yet. So I'm really looking forward to checking out Maniac. Next up, we have this one here called Q the Winged Serpent, and this is another movie that I've never seen, but I just heard about it, maybe 6 months ago. And actually heard about it because I've been quite interested lately in architecture and reading about, like especially New York architecture and skyscrapers. It's kind of cool to me, even though I'm not a big fan of the city. I like doing a lot outdoors, being in the countryside and whatnot. Skyscrapers in New York City, New York City's probably my favorite location for a movie, either New York City or like a summer camp. But when it comes to like city movies, even though I'm not being a fan of the city, like I said, New York City I think is just such an awesome place for a movie setting, especially a monster movie. But anyways, this is a creature feature here basically about this dragon here, and it's very much so played like a 1950s like sci-fi like creature feature monster movie, but it's actually from 1982, and basically, yeah, it's like about this dragon that kills people, and it lives in the Chrysler Building, which is pretty cool. And it's one of the only movies that actually shows like interiors of the Chrysler Building. I don't know if it's actual interiors of the actual building, but it's one. It's probably like the only movie that this is like it's the main destination in the movie is set in the Chrysler Building. But I'll just read the back here for a second. Q is a genuinely entertaining film, a terrific performance by Michael Moritry, if I'm saying that right. Wonderful writing by Larry Cohen. It's all a lot of fun. Recommended. This is basically about this dragon. It's an Aztec god that is summoned to modern-day Manhattan by a mysterious cult. But just call it Q, because that's all you'll be able to say before it tears you apart. Roosting within the top of the Chrysler Building, this fearsome monster begins raining blood from the bodies of window washers, construction workers, and rooftop sunbathers alike onto the streets of New York. And so, yeah, once I heard about this, I was like, oh, that's cool. It takes place in New York City. It's a monster movie, which I like as well. And it has a lot to do with this Chrysler Building, which, if you've read about, is it's a very unique skyscraper in New York City. So, really looking forward to checking this one out. And once I watch that, I'll definitely have to let you guys know what I think about that one as well. So that is Q, the Winged Serpent. This next one here, and if you're watching this, huge movie fanatics, I know you're a big fan of this one. And this is Street Trash. Being sarcastic there, of course. I watched this a few years ago. Can't remember much of what happened, but, I will agree with the people that dislike this movie, like the plot, yeah, there's not really much of a plot, and it is kind of just like a nasty, gross, dirty, grimy movie. But the thing that I like about it, before you judge, I just gotta say that it is the meltdown scenes, which I think anybody that likes this film, that's gonna probably be the reason why they like it, is because of those particular scenes. But the scenes with the people melting, something about it, the colors and everything, I just have always thought that was really cool, the way that they did that. And I got this movie for a decent price off Amazon as well. I wasn't going to spend too much for it, but I wanted to revisit it. And apparently this transfer is super good, and like people say, it's like a movie like this doesn't even deserve a transfer. Now, by no means necessary, this is a great movie, but it's the sheer fact, like I said, the melting effects in this film are just really cool. And for those of you who don't know about it, it's just basically a bunch of dirty hobos living in a fucking junkyard. Pardon my French. But, they're just living there. And then the store owner has this alcohol that he digs up in the basement or whatever called Tenafly Viper. And he sells it to this guy for really cheap. And all these homeless people are buying it. And anyone who drinks it melts down, and they melt in all these weird-ass colors like blue and green, and there's all this slop. And there's not really any like red blood, but they drink this Tenafly Viper, and then they melt, basically. They ooze into this weird, like this, like the famous toilet scene there. But I understand people that don't like this movie, because it doesn't have a lot for it. But if you're really into like movie effects, like I am, and special effects, it's worth it for that alone. And but like I said, I understand that people that don't like this. But if you are a fan of Street Trash, then definitely pick this up. I haven't watched the Blu Ray yet, but from what I've heard, the transfer is really good. And there's a lot of special features on here too. And again, this is another New York-based movie. That's one thing that all these movies have in common that I've mentioned here. Maniac, New York City. Q the Winged Serpent, New York City. Street Trash, New York City. Something about the grime of the 80s New York City just makes such a perfect movie setting, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people will agree with me there. 70s and 80s New York City. But there's, like I said, there's a lot of special features here. High definition transfer from the original camera negative. 5.1 surround remix created specifically for home theater environments. 2 audio commentaries, Meltdown Memoirs, feature-length documentary on the history and making of Street Trash featuring rare footage and interviews with the cast and crew, which I'm definitely looking forward to checking that out. The original Street Trash 16mm short film that inspired the movie. The original Street Trash promotional teaser. Original theatrical trailer. All new Blu Ray exclusives. Deleted scenes, interviews. So yeah, definitely looking forward to revisiting this, and you know, for those of you who don't like it, after all, it's trash. It's street trash. But this one was put out by Synapse Films, and the cool thing is, actually, I put them over here. It came with these this Tenafly Viper sticker, and it actually came with 2 of them, which is really cool. So you can, you know, make your own bottle of the Viper. If you have a little bottle, you can stick this label, the sticker on. So I thought that was a really cool thing that they added, and I got 2 of them, so even better. So that's really cool. So that is a wonderfully horrible film, Street Trash. And last but not least, we have the classic, The Dark Crystal. This is the new digibook. I found this at Best Buy for a pretty reasonable price. And I wanted to pick this up because even though I already own this film on Blu Ray, anything Dark Crystal, I'm on it. I just love it, and it was a decent price, and it is a digibook, so it's, you know, it's got the book. Haven't opened it up yet because I'm going to do a separate video on this release here, but that is the brand new Dark Crystal digibook release. So that's all what I got for pretty much this month. Coming up soon, I'm looking into getting the Killer Clowns from Outer Space from Arrow Video. I'm not sure if I'm going to 100%, but I'm looking into it because it comes with a cool poster and stuff. But I've already got the movie, and like, well, I don't know. We'll just think about it. But pretty much that's all for now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching my video. And like I said, let me know any of the films that I talked about today down below, what you think about them, what your opinions are. And yeah, we'll see you on the next video. Have a good one.